Zoning Board of Appeals for Tuesday, May 19th. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. May we have a roll call, please?
Certainly. Ewan.
Yes.
Bartlett.
Yes.
Kivel.
Yes.
And Gonzalez.
Here. Okay. Review of any conflict of interest.
I just want to point out that I am still president of the Parks and Rec, and we just purchased that 196 acres out there. It really does, I don't see any conflict of interest. There's nothing, I just wanted everybody to know. I've been spending quite a bit of time out there, so, a lot of decisions, so. But I just wanted everybody to know I
I
don't,
think you're fine.
No, I think that's fine.
I just,
It has
I'd rather
nothing
have
to
it
do,
clear.
that's fine. Okay, approval of the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Okay, motion by Tracy, seconded by John, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, we'll first call the first public comment at 6:31.
And Paul, just a note that there will also be a public hearing for the variance request.
Yes, there will be a
separately.
public hearing, so we'll have a public comment during that period of time.
Before or after?
Before, what the process is that we will be talking with staff as to what the issue is. We'll have the folks come up and talk about it, then we'll be calling a public comment.
But we can comment now as well, right?
You could, yes, absolutely. You can comment, usually on anything other than the topic of the night, but that's fine too.
Okay. Good.
So I'm going to comment on the topic of tonight.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
you go ahead, Mr. Loud.
Okay. And when is the other comment period going to be?
That will be later in the process, later tonight.
During that
During the-
agenda item.
Before you're voting? and-
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Well, I can wait till then.
That's fine.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else? Guys? All right, we'll close it at 6:33. Okay, on to correspondence.
We have received correspondence related to the variance 3-26. I believe we received 7 items of correspondence, and those have all been emailed to you. They all went to the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Okay. Thank you. On to reports, township report.
Sorry, I was counting my comment, or my correspondence. Yeah, I was trying to okay, our meeting was 2 weeks ago, so. It wasn't a bad meeting. We had some discussion on the beach district, and we approved the corridor improvement authority, the increment financing, and then we also approved an extended or an additional contract with Beckett and Rader for that. That is all being covered under a grant that Claire and Sam worked on. We also approved the updated sewer ordinance, so that's for the 5 municipalities that are involved in the DPW sewer. We have a new ordinance, so we approved that. The township parking lot's going to get fixed, and we approved a special ordinance, special events ordinance that takes the place of the transient activity. Takes me a minute, sorry. So that, we're hoping will help both staff and the residents be able to do what they need to do and yet help us keep down any conflicts that have been coming up. And safe routes to school, we had some updates on that. Sorry. And then our history intern started today. And we had a grant that is going to help cover that cost. So she started today. We'll see how that goes. It'll be interesting to see what we get out of that and see how, all the stories. That's the part I'm looking forward to, is hearing all the stories of, the history that's gone on through here, so. And I think that's about it.
A question on the history intern. How long is that project scheduled for, do you know?
The intern is going to be here through August. It's 4 months. So she'll be here through August 19th, I think is what the date is, so.
Okay, is that deliverable at that point, or does she then write it up, or?
I don't know. I don't know if we know until she actually gets into it and sees how much information she'll have and how many documents. She's going to work with the library historian. Claire could probably tell you more, but I know she's going to, do some interviews and things, and then she's also going to work with the library historian, and we've got a lot of stuff in the vault she's going to go through. So that'll be helpful, hopefully clean that up and maybe digitize it, I'm assuming would be part of that, so.
Yeah,
be good.
yeah, we'll be digitizing a lot of the township records.
That'd be great.
We're excited about
That'll
that.
be really good. But, yeah, I'm kind of excited. I mean, every time, some of the old timers would pass away, we're like, oh, if we'd have had the intern, we could have interviewed them over, some stories from back that, now we don't have that history. I wasn't here 60 years ago and that kind of stuff, so. But we've got her now, so we'll get started.
Good, that's great.
Yeah. She seemed very nice, young, so that will be interesting to see how she handles all of that.
Be interesting to see what she comes up with.
Yeah, yeah.
And where's the plan that will be available to the public? Will it be back through the library, or will it be through here somehow?
Yeah, so we're working with the library to have information archived, but we're also planning to have a public-facing document that would be available on our website. So we're going to have short video clips where she's interviewing community members, summary of some of the history. So it will kind of take the form based on what we find, but definitely plan to have a forward
That's
public-facing
even better.
element to
Yeah,
it.
Cool.
That's good.
I just think I think it's going to be a really cool thing to
Yeah.
have, so.
Yep.
And if anyone in the audience, anyone on the
Yeah.
board, if you know of people that should be interviewed, if you have any historical documents, please send them to planning and zoning, and we can make sure to get those to the right place.
Yeah, on Facebook, they have pictures of old Traverse City in certain
Yeah.
areas. So if there's anything that people would have of East Bay, that'd be great. And
Yeah.
I say that out to the public, so anything that you have, bring it on in.
Oh, I wonder, I have Grace McDonald's book that she wrote about the camp, and that's kind of cool. It has some pictures. I should bring that in.
Okay, that's a great project. It would be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Thank you. Well, coming up with the planning commission, that's going to be nothing compared to what. On our last meeting on May the 5th, we had a site review on Timber Ridge, and we gave them an extension. They had started construction on a series of their sites, and because of different permitting and things of that nature, it would be taking a longer period of time that they would normally have to come back to get an extension. But what we did is that we allowed them to have that time to be able to take care of the sites since they are already under construction on that. Then we looked at the stormwater ordinance and then the private road technical design standards. So those were really discussion items, and sooner or later we'll come back to the township board. So that's what we had covered on our last meeting. Did I miss anything?
That's great.
Okay. Not to be outdone, what's happening in planning?
Well, since I'm here, I do have a few quick updates. Well, did want to, it was Public Service Recognition Week, so just wanted to thank everyone for your public service. I will mention that we have a new ZBA alternate member. Dave Boosfield was appointed by the board last week. Wanted to welcome and appreciate Louette Frost, who was previously an alternate. Now she's a permanent member on the ZBA, and then we also reappointed Paul Gonzalez, John, and Tracy. So thanks to everyone. As you know, Bill's last day was last Thursday, and so during the transition, Sam has been super helpful and is filling in on land use permits. We are kind of working as a team on the enforcement items, but we're going to be posting that position soon. And so we're going to be looking to hire a new zoning administrator to fill in. In the interim, Sarah Capriva with Beckett and Rader will be assisting with the Zoning Board of Appeals. And so, but you're also welcome to contact me anytime with questions or anything like that. Wanted to put in a plug for the Beach District breakfast. So all boards and commissions are welcome to attend that. That's on June 3rd at 9 a.m. And so we'll be, I think I sent out the first invite last week, but we'll be sending out reminders and would love to have your participation. We're going to have some individuals from Army Corps of Engineers, Eagle, and from Michigan Sea Grant. The topic is coastal resiliency and permitting and kind of best practices related to coastal construction. Some of the property owners along that corridor were interested in learning more, and breakfast will be provided. So would love to have you join us at that. And then did want to just mention the Safe Routes to School. That's about almost 2 miles of trail is going to be constructed this summer. So we're very excited about that. We also have our Civic Plaza that will be going in. We got an easement donated from True North. So we're going to have a nice public plaza right along the trail for seating area, bike racks, those types of things. So excited to finally construct that.
And the Beach District breakfast will be where?
That will be here at the Township Hall. We generally try to do it along the corridor. We didn't have a great venue this time. We've got a few of the venues that are under construction, so it's going to be here at the Township Hall.
Thank you.
One last thing, I just wanted to, this was in, I believe, the April edition of the Michigan Planner. This is reviewing zoning board of the appeals and petitions. So for administrative decisions, those types of appeals, I thought it was really helpful resource for zoning board of appeals. I can, if you have a copy of it, I encourage you to take a look. If not, I can scan it and send it out as well. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we'll go for the approval of the minutes of the 3/23, 2026 meeting. Get a chance to read through them. Any corrections or additions?
I make a motion the minutes be approved as presented.
I'll support.
Okay. Moved by John, supported by Tracy to accept the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay. Okay, on to the business before the board tonight. Claire?
Sure. So applicants are here this evening. They are requesting 2 variances. One from the front yard setback. So the front yard setback is 30 feet, and they are seeking a 16-foot variance from that. And then the second variance is from our 50-foot setback from the ordinary high water mark. And they are seeking a 34.1 foot variance for that. The site is, as I'm sure you're aware, after visiting, it's a vacant site right now. They're looking to construct a new home and attached garage, a single-car garage at that site. So it's lot 23. It's on Scout Camp Road on Rennie Lake. It's 0.2 acres in size, so it's significantly smaller than what our ordinance requires, which is 40,000 square feet, but it is a legal lot of record. It's zoned Lakes Area, LA. As you'll see from the survey that they provided, there is a limited amount of buildable land that is smaller than kind of what the parcel size is. So I did want to just, before you as a board go through each one of the conditions and standards that's in the staff report, I did want to just make a few comments. So I will mention, this is a legal lot of record. So the township attorney has stated that a property owner does have the right to use the property as it's zoned for residential use. But any approved variance does need to be the minimum necessary. So minimum size necessary. You want to make any type of variance that you're approving, you want it to be as small as possible. So that does not mean that the application has to be approved as is. There are some opportunities, and we can discuss those in more detail. Can the home be closer to the road? Can it be potentially moved east? Are there some opportunities to increase that vegetative buffer? As you see, right now there's a segment, the smallest segment is only 15 feet, where we're looking for 50 feet, but can we get closer to that 50 foot? I did take a look at the slope. As you know, we recently approved an ordinance amendment, so we regulate slopes, anything below 25%. And so based on looking at the contours, I do not believe that it's over 25%, but we would verify that before issuing any type of a land use permit. I do also want to mention that we do not have a minimum home size. So previously in our ordinance, we required a home to be at least 768 square feet. And so oftentimes, when you're looking at a variance, you're like, well, we need to make sure it's at least X size. Right now, the way that we've amended our ordinance, we don't have a minimum. So you could build a 300 square foot home, a 500 square foot home, as long as it meets the building code. So wanted to point that out. I did also, in taking a look at the site, right now there's boat access down to the water. And so based on our ordinance, any type of development here would need to reestablish that vegetative buffer. So likely that boat access would not be able to be preserved. Future access to that water would need to be through the public boat launch. So those were just a few comments that I had, and happy to answer any questions. But I turn it over to Paul to go through. As you'll see in the staff report, we go through each one of the variances and treat them separately, although you'll see that for many of them, kind of the justification is the same for both.
Okay. At this point, we'll have the petitioners come forward and talk about their request.
Hi, we're Duff and Diane.
We live right around the corner from that waterfront. We use it right now as a boat. We have a-
Could you please identify yourself and
I am Jeff Johnson. I currently live at 5346 Traeger. I'm right around the corner from that particular lot. Years ago, back in the early 2000s, we built the house next door. We sold that back in 2018, about 3 lots across the street, and moved there. We built some homes across the street. Now we're getting close to retirement. We want to get back in the water. So that's our goal is to build on that lot and have that our final home.
We're trying to make it as small as we think that we could do it,
Yeah.
just 924 square feet on the main level, and then we're going up.
Okay.
And it's like 700 and something, isn't it?
Upstairs, yeah. We did meet with Bill here, and I'm not sure where the young lady was. That was with him.
I believe Sarah.
Sarah Capriva, probably a consultant, yeah.
And we talked, went over several things, and she seemed receptive of what we were trying to do, let's put it that way. We made the house narrow, smaller than one we built next door. We made the house, hopefully.
Yeah, we want to move it closer to the road from what it is now. We're thinking a couple more feet up towards the road than what it is.
Yeah, the house that we built previously back in 2004 there, it had a,
No, it's just,
yeah, it's like a 16-foot.
They can't hear the line at all.
They can't? Okay, could you move the microphone down and speak a little louder?
Sorry about that.
yeah, we're just trying to keep the house in line with the other houses. And we're trying to keep it back as far as we can from the waterfront.
And
We've already talked to face replacement, and they went over, because we own the lot across the street, so we were planning on going underneath the road and putting a septic up there. So septic system's already been, we've already tested for that, and that's something that will work across the street.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. About the septic system, you said it's across the street.
Yeah, we're gonna be able to pump it up across the street.
But the,
on the road,
okay, when I was up there, I looked across the street, and there was like a water pond
Right.
area. How was,
It's on the other side. We own like 1.2 or 3 acres, 1.3 acres on the other side. So it's gonna go beyond the pond and the wet areas too. There's an actual,
I don't know if you
I don't know if
see
you got that from
that.
Bill or not. That's,
Bill, share that with you from the lady that came out and drew this up.
no, no.
It shows a tank location on the property. And,
Here.
I think there's 2 sheets there.
And then it shows where there is currently there's not a septic field, a drain field on the property across the street. It's from the house next door that we built in 2004.
Is that three-level gray house that was, okay.
On the corner?
So there's a septic system there, which basically is a drain field. They're proposing we put it from there.
Okay.
So this is the dream field for this.
So this house is gonna be a couple feet smaller than what the other houses around it. There's a house on one side here and a house on the other side. It's already been built and,
Okay. I'm waiting to see the drawing.
That's for this house, this is going to be, this for the new house up there.
You want me to make copies of that?
maybe a couple there.
I mean, as long as we look at it, if
Yeah.
you're okay with that. I mean,
So that's up here. How long is that drain field?
One that's currently there is 70 feet by
15 by
15.
70. Yeah. So it's probably going to be about the same size there.
I'm sorry?
It's going to be about the same size.
70 feet long by,
15, yeah. And then try to keep them
So
in.
they're gonna build here,
We're gonna go out,
under the road.
we're gonna go towards the next house.
over here, the gray three-story house
Yeah,
With the
yeah,
fence right up
with the
against
fence.
Right.
Where that's gonna be, let's look here. Where the tank is right now is here from the gray house, okay?
And this, where's the
We're gonna-
gray house?
We're gonna. Right there's the gray house.
Okay, so you're here.
Yeah, we're back here. This right
Okay.
here is where the lot is that we're trying to build on. They gave us the tank location here, and they told us that we could pump here. We've had Johnson excavating out to look at it. If you just had them out again last week, they proposed we put it here, they did soil boring. I don't know if she's got that wrote down
Three
here or
different
not.
locations on there.
Okay, I'm going to ask a question publicly, so the property that you're showing me here, is this non-buildable?
It pretty much, it's real sloped. It's pretty much not buildable.
Yeah.
Okay, because if you're coming way out here, is there any chance that somebody else is going to want to build in there, or is this non-buildable?
That's gonna stay with the house.
Oh.
That house, we're not gonna ever do anything with that land.
Way on that land.
Okay,
Yeah, it's all wetlands around there, and there's only that one spot that you can actually put a septic system in. And it's like real steep down.
Down to that, well, down to that pond front.
It's a pretty good-sized pond all the way around. It's pretty much an acre of that pond.
this is for Claire. If they own this property and they are going to be putting the septic system and drain field onto that property, which is already something existing, and they're not going to build on it, is that something that would have to be filed with the clerk?
The township clerk or the register of deeds?
Register of
Or-
Deeds, yeah.
Yeah, so generally, we would expect to see either an easement on the property to ensure that's there in perpetuity, or you could legally combine the two parcels. You don't necessarily need to do a lot combination, but something recorded with the register of deeds to show that they are, legally connected, so they can't be sold off separately.
Right, we would do that, yes. There's no place to go that. There's one
that-
area we can park cars right across, that we have our boat stored there.
I was
You
going
have
to
your-
say, there's a boat there now.
There's a boat right now. Okay.
Yeah.
So Claire, that would be something that the planning commission would do when they do the land use, right?
Yeah, so, planning commission would not review, but, planning and zoning department would want to see that either evidence of ownership and that they were tied together, yeah.
If this is approved, we could make that a condition.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Any other questions at this point? Rod? John? Okay. Wait,
Yeah, so on the lot along the lake, in walking it today, you have the markers, I assume, on the east side. On the west, no. Yeah, on the east side. On the west side, where that fence is and the other house, you did not have an upper corner stake there.
There's two there. It's right
Oh,
behind-
we saw it. It's behind some
there is a,
down tree.
Yeah.
yeah, there is a marker there.
You had to walk over to it because you
Okay.
couldn't see it.
Okay.
I've had the same problem. I had to walk around till I found it, so.
Yeah.
Okay, because that upper one, okay, I missed it, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No,
But
they were
it's-
really low to the
You're
ground.
talking about the small
Oh, the little-
stakes that were
The
there?
little stakes with the red. The-
Yeah.
I'm talking about an actual property stake.
The
Oh.
property stake is actually, it's.
Inside the fence?
It is,
I thought so.
yeah. We had to take, we had it resurveyed. We kind of knew it was somewhere there, but we weren't sure. So it's right underneath, about this far from the fence, on the other side.
So right now, the fence is built
On the,
on
on their,
on your property.
Not much.
Probably
It's-
about 30 feet of it, yeah.
Yeah, down.
When it gets down towards the water,
He built it, and the reason why is because there's tree roots there, and he kind of went around the tree roots without really
Okay.
thinking about. Is it-
No, I found the little stakes, I just couldn't find that upper property.
See what that was tied
yeah, it's
to.
on the other side.
Tied to the fence.
Well, yeah, but that wasn't far enough back.
Right, right.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
okay, all right.
Anything else?
Not at this time, I'm
Okay.
sure.
Okay, have a seat and we'll be back to you. Okay, now we'll be having our public hearing, and we'll call the public hearing at 6:59.
Good evening. My name is Ralph Bednars. I reside in East Bain Township on Rennie Lake. I'm commenting tonight on item 9A. This item, variance request for parcel 03690-02300 First, let me say that I understand the desire of the applicants to build a house and to live on Rennie Lake during their retirement years. However, the subject parcel of vacant land does not have enough size and dimensions to build the proposed house and to provide for the protection of Rennie Lake. Let me also say that the Township Planning and Zoning staff, the commissioners, and the Forest Lakes community and others worked very hard to update the zoning ordinances and develop the supplemental standards for the environmental sensitive areas for the protection of the waters in the township, including the lakes. The Forest Lakes Overlay District intent and requirements in the former ordinances were incorporated in the updated ordinances, including the 50-foot setback from the ordinary high water mark that creates a protective lake buffer zone. The certificate of survey for the subject parcel, which you have in your packet, locates the proposed house garage footprint and indicates the requested setback variances. The survey also includes the current 30-foot roadside setback, but not the 50-foot lakeside setback. If you use the scale, and let me point out that the scale is a centimeter scale. It is not an inch scale, which is identified on that scale, so there's an error in the certificate of survey. But the centimeter scale is accurate as far as the variances and the setback distances. But if you use that scale, if you draw in the lakeside setback, which is 3.3 centimeters, which equals the 50-foot setback, the 50-foot setback boundary to the west side of the property would be out to the Scout Camp Road right-of-way. So there's no real setback, it's out to the road. And the setback boundary would intersect the roadside corner of the proposed house garage footprint on the east side. Thus, nearly the entire proposed house garage footprint is in the 50-foot setback area. I was also going to comment about the septic system, but apparently that's being put on a different property. But the applicants did say they obtained a septic system, or they were obtaining a septic system permit for a 3-bedroom house. This would equate to a minimum 21 by 36-foot drain field, plus a double septic tank. At least that's what was required on my property for a 3-bedroom house. Thus, most of the septic system, if approved on the property, and again, I wasn't aware of this other proposal, would be located in the 50-foot setback. So I trust after you look at the footprint, the survey, and look where the 50-foot setback would be, that this parcel does not have the size to accommodate the proposed project, and you would deny the variance request. Thank you for your service to the township and the opportunity for me to comment tonight. Appreciate it.
James Thompson, 5551 Scout Camp Road. I'm 7 lots down. Please enforce your award-winning zoning ordinance. If no enforcement, then it is a worthless document. Honestly, don't know why we're here to discuss this variance. This lot was valued at $40,000, a lake lot, for a reason it could not be built on. This would be the folks' 4th house in 10 years in this proximity, Scout Camp Traeger, and who says they're not going to sell this one too? Not a valid request that pre-existing lots with homes already on them are smaller size. This is a new build, a completely different situation. 1, the map shows September 25th water line, which is not the high water mark. Go out and measure today. You guys sound like you walked out there. The Rennie Lake is up 2.5 to 3 feet from where it was in September. So it's a heck of a lot different than what that map shows. Front yard variance, 47% variance. Vegetated buffer strip, 32% reduction variance. And again, that's incorrect because they're not measuring it correctly. This was before the septic field discussion. I don't know why you would even consider that when there's a pond over there. That just makes no sense to me. I think this thing should just be thrown out. And one last comment. If this variance is approved, something stinks.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Okay, we'll close it at 7:05. And we'll bring it back to the board.
Claire, what was the new ordinances approved, put into effect? Can we just rewrite the ordinances for this? What was that?
It went into effect in December of 2024.
So we're looking at a year and a half already.
Okay.
I will say that related to the variances that are being requested tonight, really the ordinance amendments doesn't substantially change what was in place, years before, dating all the way back to 2008. We had the 50-foot setback from the ordinary high water mark. We had the vegetative buffer in place. With our ordinance update, we did strengthen the vegetative buffer requirements. And so we do have a more robust requirements for that 50-foot vegetative buffer. We didn't make any changes to the front yard setback, side yard setbacks. Those types of things are all kind of consistent to what we saw back in 2008.
So basically, the current ordinance reaffirms the previous ordinance. Yeah, this is a small piece of property, very small piece of property.
What is the side yard setback? It's not on the survey.
This,
On something else.
on the west side, you're talking?
On the east side and more, or no, I
West
guess
side.
the
The
west side.
I'll tell you, it's 10 feet.
10 feet.
It's 10 feet and a little because I measured it
From the
Okay.
fence, basically. or
from the fence.
From the
Yeah.
fence.
Yeah.
okay.
You got to remember that,
It's
Exactly,
just a little bit off, yeah.
right.
but
Okay.
it's,
Yeah, when I was out there, we were going, I was between the bush with the fishing line going through it and the fence. It was pretty tight.
Yeah, I brought my tape and I wanted to check it. It was 10 feet and I thought, wow, right on the nose. But you're
Yeah.
right now,
Well-
because of the fence, you,
I got it.
an inch or two.
Not much.
Not much.
so, I mean, and then trying to get down to even the water that's there today is, that's 16 feet or 15.2 feet in that corner.
Yeah, it was lapping up on the,
I'm real troubled with that and the 50-foot setback.
how far back, how much closer to the road are you going?
We'd like to come up another couple of feet, match it with the
Can you
house.
come up to the mic, please?
And he thought maybe that was off on what we,
Yeah,
as
if
far
you
as the
look-
survey, what you have.
You've got
or-
30
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna make much difference.
Yeah, you got 35 feet there, but we want to go up 2 more feet towards the road. And you've got 35 feet from the water's edge, I guess. What you had said, we were asking for a variance.
You talking about the road or the
35
water?
feet.
Yeah, the variance from the ordinary high water mark was, I believe, 35 feet, because you're 15 feet from the ordinary high water mark, so you're seeking a 30.
I thought it was 28.8. You would look at what was in the paper and what we asked for.
I don't know, we had, Phil figured that out for us, so we weren't sure, but we can move the house over more on the other side, more towards.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be,
Yeah,
it doesn't
we still
have to
room
be
on the
towards
other
that
side.
fence.
I think we got 30 feet.
Yeah, we got 30 feet
We
over, we
probably
can put it.
Move it a little, 10 more feet on the other
It says
side.
34.
Yeah, move it further west, or east, I mean.
East.
Get turned around.
I know,
Yeah, the legal ad in the paper says 34.1 feet is the variance request from the ordinary high water mark. So that says 21.2.
Take that from 50,
Oh, okay.
28.8. Isn't that what we read in the paper?
I don't know, that's what he had for, told us it was, something, yeah, where it's at. Yeah. A little better.
It's 7 feet, but still, it's,
Okay, so if that was something that you were looking to make that change, we would need to renotice it in the paper, because you would be increasing your, the variance from the road. You'd be decreasing your variance from the water, but if you're increasing anything, then we would need to renotice that.
I asked Bill about that, and he said we could just request it here at the meeting if we wanted to move it up.
Well, you can request it, and then we would need to notice it in the paper.
Still gonna have to.
yeah, we should have printed that out.
I guess my one question, just
We
in,
have it right here.
my one question in, just overall, you've set that house all the way to the east, as close as you can, and that's the most high water mark to the house.
And-
Why did you do that and not go to the
We made a
east?
mistake, we wanted it to move over, it was just at the time, we didn't think about it when we put the house on there, and then we started thinking about it.
You staked the house out,
I know,
the survey's done,
yeah.
Yep,
okay. I,
So it sounds like you would be willing to not use that boat.
yeah, that's fine, we don't have to.
That's fine, and so you'd move it
Move it over farther to the other side, yeah.
and restore that vegetative buffer where the,
So are you saying there would be no boat dock there at all?
You could have a dock, just not a ramp.
not a ramp.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't have a
We
ramp
don't
there
use it
either.
as a ramp.
No.
Yeah, so the whole drive going down to the water,
Right.
there would have to be house instead of drive, or garage, whatever is on that side. Because that would give you more on the water edge if you,
Yeah, it would be less of a variance.
yeah, right, which is a huge difference.
Right.
That pontoon that was in the water, that's your pontoon? So if you were shifting the house to the east and eliminating the drop for your boat, what do you do with your boat?
Pull it out, put it in a lot across the street. What I
Well, you
used to
won't be
do.
able to do it.
Well,
I-
they'd have to use the public launch.
They'd have to use a public launch.
We would have to somehow get it, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know where the public lunch is on that. We can use our neighbor, we can use, Liz let us use it, we pulled it up before, next door.
There is no public launch on Rennie? Okay.
There's state land.
I was gonna say there's state land, I know that.
developed public
We've had neighbors allow us to pull it out in the past before we got that area clear. I don't know if it helps, I've been talking with Eagle, getting information on that, on what we can do to restore everything, and so it's not, so the water's not flooding as much as it is, and replanting it and all that. I have a appointment with them, not yet, but I'm waiting for them to call me back on that.
So I,
Back on that.
So I will mention just we do have a no keyholing provision in our ordinance, which specifies that, that you are not permitted to use other properties so one property cannot be the access point for multiple properties into the water.
I understand that.
Yeah, we're just gonna use to pull the boat.
And it is our retirement home. We have built other homes because we had land, and we did it as a retirement plan, so we could retire. you know. So-
And it's all been in East Bay Township. I've lived in East Bay Township over 40 years. Yeah, well over 40 years.
So if you move or shift the house to the east, and you want to, I guess, increase or decrease the front of the house to the road, that would be a different variance request.
Be smaller.
I'm going to make a comment. I think there's
Please.
a lot of things in the air right here. And I don't know until we get a real survey and place that house, if we could even go through this tonight. I mean, because, I think we need more information on some of that, don't you?
I agree, especially since there is a change in location of the house and possibly a change in the variance request with respect to the street itself, or the distance.
We both.
Both.
And back, 'cause you're moving.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'd be less.
At both, so you, yeah.
You're increasing one, decreasing the other.
Yeah, the issue is the size of the property. I mean, it's very, very tight.
That property there is bigger than the property that we built on next to it. It has more square.
oh, wow.
It's just with, I think the high water mark, original high water mark has come up, so originally, I think we would have had, like last year, we probably would have had if we went by the water itself, the 50-foot, but now it's come up, it's different now.
Yeah, but we have high water mark established now
Right.
through Great Trim, right?
Yep.
Right.
Yeah,
Yep, we have elevations for each one of the lakes.
yeah.
So I think one thing that would be helpful for the applicant to have some guidance from the zoning board on prior to coming back is just the size of the house and whether or not you're comfortable with the size as proposed, given the size of the parcel.
Oh, thank you.
They do, yeah.
Yeah, that reminded me, do you know what the size of your footprint was?
Yeah, it's 22 feet wide, and the house itself is 42 feet long.
700,
With-
920 square feet below.
Yeah, 924.
Footprint's 924.
Yeah, but that, you gotta add a garage on it.
Plus,
But they want a full garage on
One
it.
stall garage.
Garage.
One stall garage.
What's the square footage including the garage?
It is
22
1188.
by,
And that was indicated by the 4 stakes that were there, right?
the garage was, yes.
The garage is 12, right?
oh,
We got the smallest we could, we were trying to shrink it. That's what we did.
Well,
yeah.
when you're trying to build on a
Exactly.
tiny little thing, you're gonna get a tiny little house.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 22 by 42 includes a garage.
no.
No?
That's the house, it's 54,
It's 54 with the garage.
22 by 54 with the garage.
There's 12 and 42.
I saw 40, oh, I see the 12, yeah, the 12 is mass, yeah, okay, right. Wow,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, even having, I know a garage is needed, but wow, that's a lot of room taken up there too, so.
I mean, previously, we did use that 768, which was the minimum, as kind of a benchmark for house size. Now we can go small, an applicant can go smaller than that. So we really, you want to look to see what the minimum size would be.
And this is going to be a 2-story?
It is.
Is there a second story above the garage?
There is.
Yeah, I didn't see any Any sketches or anything on it?
Is there a basement?
There's gotta be, yeah,
A
there
walkout
there has.
It's a walkout,
So it's going to
you're
be
gonna
3
be-
stories?
3 stories.
I don't know if it's all 3 stories because there's a plans involved in that.
And if I hear you right, you own the property on the other side of the road, right there.
Absolutely.
You've already got a boat sitting over there, there's quite a piece of flat land.
It's not going there. It's actually gonna go up the hill towards Traeger Road.
Okay.
It's
It
gotta-
goes all the way
We gotta
around.
drill, we have to drill under the
I
road.
guess I wasn't asking about the septic.
Oh,
You do have a boat on the other side of the road sitting on a piece of flat land.
yeah, we do.
So a garage could go over there.
If,
I didn't know.
I didn't know. I didn't
I'm
know
just
we-
saying,
Yeah.
when you're trying to
Thinking
get to.
outside the box.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that would be great, and that would be fine with me. I mean, it doesn't matter to me.
I'm not trying to influence, I'm just
Yeah.
trying to make,
Because then you could shrink the house print too, the house footprint some too, because you would take whatever square footage you're using for the garage could,
Well, that will also, we took that out, that would also change the
Lower level plan here.
variance again.
right.
level,
Well, that's what I'm
upper
saying,
level.
before we leave, these are all the things that you need to consider. Not that we're saying, oh, if you do these things, it's all approved. We're just saying these are things to consider.
Probably, I would guess. 924 and 767. There's 16. Yeah, there you go.
okay,
There's 16 and 9,
2650.
yeah,
Square feet total.
yeah.
The way it is. And that, I wonder if that includes this. Garage,
I
don't know.
don't know.
It does.
What?
If you're adding those up,
Yeah,
it does.
so the garage is extra.
If we didn't do the upper, I mean, if we didn't do the garage, the living space above the garage would go away as well.
Well, no, you'd add more space underneath underneath that living space.
You had, oh,
No,
Yeah, what they're doing
yeah, you
is,
wouldn't have anything above, because it goes across the garage.
this
On the second
is
level.
living space over. there.
Right, I understand that, but
yeah,
Just one bedroom.
so it kind
if
of does
you
include the
shrink the
garage.
footprint,
But
that's
but it's
all
not added in on
But
it.
it's not added
change
in.
what's
Yeah.
upstairs. But I haven't looked at your.
I don't know,
You need to just consider.
just as a more curiosity question, I mean, given the distance you are from the lake, which is not a lot, plus the fact that across the street is the pond, which looked pretty substantial, can you actually put a basement in there?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, better excavator.
They did next door.
Yeah, we did next door too, yeah.
Never had a problem there. And it was.
Well, I didn't know if that,
Yeah, there's.
I didn't know probably because the land sloped down.
Yeah, it's a walkout on the other home too. I know.
Well, I hope the water never goes over the ordinary high water. That is not the highest water. It's an ordinary high water.
I don't know.
Look at how high it was, maybe a little over ordinary high water mark.
Looks like a lot of house for a very small piece of property.
We would,
Lower than the one next door.
yeah. You'd be surprised once you get in how small it's gonna actually be.
24 square feet, isn't it?
Okay, let me try and summarize some of these issues. Number one is the issue of the current proposed location of the house, which is now going to probably move somewhere. That's number one. Number 2 is the location of that house with respect to the distance between the house and the road, which would be number 2. And third is the actual size of the property or the planned property itself. That it would seem ambitious. Those are the 3 things I have. And of course, there's a 4th one, just possibility of relocating where the garage might be, just as a thought with respect to the size of the house. That being the case, I have to agree with Rod that possibly we should be postponing this issue until these other items are resolved. So is there a motion to that effect?
I would make a motion that we send this back to the petitioners with the 3 items mentioned, and there's 4 items mentioned by the clarification on that.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I will second the motion, but I think when they come back, we really need a true survey with all the things on it. I mean, they got to settle in on something, because I mean, we can't stand in here and we can't vote on, yes, we'll give you a setback, and then have the house move and all that, so.
Yeah, I'm not saying we're going to approve the variance. as
No.
determined, But I'm,
We need really, in order to even consider it, we got to have.
yeah, but, yes, and a different location and different variants that we're going to be looking at, so, yeah, I agree that we,
Okay. Okay, those are the items we're talking about. Do you have any questions for us?
Are we going to be able to get on next month's docket?
As long as we get
I don't know.
So, yeah, so I'm looking June 22nd would be is our normal meeting. It's the fourth Monday, right? Or is it the
It's
fourth?
Monday, we switched to.
Fourth Monday,
Yes.
okay. So, yeah, so June 22nd would be the next meeting, and we generally are looking for an application 1 month ahead of time, so you might be looking at the July meeting, depending on turnaround
How
time.
long it takes.
Yeah, just for posting, we have to get everything out to the newspaper about 21 days ahead of time.
All right, thanks.
So do we need to vote on this?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that,
Copy of this?
No, not tonight.
No.
just make sure that you include all that with
All of
packet
that.
that you bring back next time.
does that include the floor plan and?
Yeah, the floor, yeah,
Who would we bring it to now?
Claire or
You can send it to me, and I'll make
Yeah.
sure it gets to the right.
whomever might be here by then, hopefully.
I can give you my business card, too, before you leave.
I used to deal with Leslie years ago.
Yeah, yep.
Sketches of the house, of front view, side views, would also be appropriate to ask for.
The more information, the better. But there is a motion on the floor. So,
Is that the correct procedure, Claire, to postpone it?
Yeah, you can, I think that's
I don't
fine to
know.
postpone, because we'll do an updated legal notice. So we will do a mailing to everybody with updated information. So it could be considered a new variance, but I think
Well, a
postponing is
new
fine.
variance has to be a year apart, right?
Right.
And so this isn't a new,
Has to be a year apart if they're asking for the same thing. They're asking for something
we're
different.
doing,
So-
okay,
but
I just wanted to make sure we
Yeah.
weren't,
Yeah, I think
skipping that
the
line.
postponement is fine.
okay, there's a motion by John, seconded by Rod, for postponement of this issue until the July 22nd, excuse me. No,
Well, or the
no,
next-
can't be June, so it'd be what's the July date?
20th?
Yeah.
July 20th would be the Monday.
Yeah.
Actually, it would be the 27th is the
Oh,
fourth
you're right.
Monday.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we'll make it
27th.
July 27th, or whatever scheduled meeting is, depending upon the
when they
the
meet.
process. All in favor? Aye.
Folks, when you come back, we really need the information nailed down.
You know, we met with Sarah and Bill, and they said we were good to go, and said
Yeah.
it looked good, and in fact,
Okay?
I mean, that's,
talked to them several times over it, but, okay.
yeah.
Yes.
And you'll note, this will be the third time you put it in paper.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. We'll open the second, the second public comment at 7:30.
James Thompson again. I won't be here for July, so I'm assuming that's part of the stall plan. I don't know why you can't say no. I mean, what the heck? This is a postage stamp. If you can't say no to this one, I have no confidence that you will never say no. This is ridiculous. You've walked it. It's a postage stamp. The fact that they built the house next door, that house would not be built now. And about 10 other houses that have gone through. I have no confidence. My wife wanted me to stay professional. I'm staying professional, but I'm about to lose it because this is ridiculous.
Yeah, Ralph Bednarz again. Yeah, a little bit disappointing, especially since all the energy was put into protecting the buffer zone for the lakes, and that has carried through since 2008 with the overlay district. I hope you do take the time to look at where the 50-foot setback is on this property, and it's actually off the property. So the property does not have adequate size for this type of a project. And I hope you take the time, and I hope the surveyor, the professional surveyor, gets his survey correct and includes that 50-foot setback. I don't understand why it was not included to begin with. But, yeah, please consider what you're doing with this decision, given the current ordinances and what the buffer zone is to protect the lake. And the lake is in common ownership with all the properties around the lake. It's not just a neighbor or two, it's all of them. And the zone, the buffer zone, is for the protection of that resource. Thank you again for the comments.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay. So we'll close the public hearing 7:32. All right, excuse me, our next meeting is scheduled for June 22nd, 2026, and with that, we are adjourned.